Great. Don't worry, the picture in the thumbnail is not my actual car, but that's the spoiler I put on it. The diffuser will come later. I did stuff on Instagram over the weekend, so Alex saw that. So thank you, Alex. But
Dane's hot Instagramming.
Yeah, well, you know.
If you haven't catched the feed, catch it today before it disappears.
I really don't post those pics much. But at any rate, guys, what about what's going on here? What's the deal?
If we're going to start a little housekeeping.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that hopefully you guys all caught our live Q&A last Thursday.
Oh, man.
With a very special guest,
good.
Mr. Adam Patali.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Now, if you haven't and you're wondering why was Adam here, well, very simple. He is moved to Boise. His wife is from Idaho. His role at Adams Polishes has changed a little bit, so he doesn't need to be in the office every day.
Yeah.
He can just fly in when they need him. And so he was able to relocate. And so his wife wanted to be closer to her family. They really liked Idaho, so they moved to Idaho. And he's down the street, basically, living in an Eagle. And Jeff and him, funny story, he had texted Jeff when they first moved to Boise and said, hey, let's go grab some lunch. And Jeff never wrote him back because he accidentally texted the rag company main number.
Yeah,
not
that
Jeff's
wasn't
cell phone.
intentional. It just, he went to the number he saw.
Yeah, so they finally got in touch and thought, well, let's have some lunch and catch up and just say hi. And the fun thing that people seem to forget is that most of us in the detail world, when we go to big events, when we go to things like that, we're all good friends. We're all cordial. We're all very welcoming and honest and open and nice to each other. And so there is no weird brand wars.
You sometimes assume that there's it's like gang warfare or something going on, behind the scenes. People are all beating up on each other, and then outwardly it's even
now
worse,
there is healthy
YouTube
competition
comments and Facebook.
There is healthy competition.
Yeah, but I mean that's to be expected. The whole idea is if you're in business, you're competing with each other.
Well, and that's kind of why I wanted to lead in with what we're doing today. As you see, we've got all these different brands for different polishes and things that are here. And what we're going to be doing is getting to work on the Subaru this week with a bunch of friends of ours who, you guys know, are friends of ours.
What were we calling it? A cornucopia?
I'm calling it a cavalcade.
Oh, a cavalcade. Yes, that's what it was.
I'll go with smorgasbord.
Okay, a cavalcade and smorgasbord of friends.
It's not a character in Star Trek. It's
compounds, all kinds of good stuff. Sandpapers.
Wow.
We're gonna be getting dirty. We're gonna be having some fun. But the point is, we got a number of different gentlemen from different companies all coming to spend the week together to work on a project together.
Yes.
Which is literally what we at the Rag Company are all about. We like working together. We like hanging out with everybody. We like having fun with everybody.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that we're known for and something that we're going to do. And bringing Adam to do our Q&A was just something fun. And we hope you guys enjoyed it. So, Anthony, do we have any other housekeeping items other than this fabulous Brooks shirt that I'm wearing? Courtesy of our friends at Brooks. Shoes.
No, as you can see, I have right behind you there. I have put up a Brooks box. And a box, and then Dane is trying to figure out this LED light here.
The on button just makes a click.
I don't know if you knew this, but Dane is an energy vampire.
He is, so he's just
this sign apparently shuts off every time Dane sits in front of it.
There we go. Right, that's what I wanted. All right.
So housekeeping, yes, there's a couple things we need to cover here in today's podcast. So this week, I believe this week, it could be next week, we do have a sale coming up, right? I think it'll be a fun one. It'll be one that I think a lot of people will be interested in because it's one of the most, the item that is going on sale, the items that are going on sale are some of the most used items when it comes to auto detailing. So we're hoping people will be able to stock up on those. So that's it for sales. This week's going to be pretty crazy. I'm going to be trying to cover as much of this stuff as I can on Instagram. Probably going to be going live a few times. We have our Grand Ambassadors that were announced last week. Last week. And so basically, they have their discount codes activated. So if you're in the U.S. and you're looking for a discount code, check out our Grand Ambassadors that are located here within the U.S. We do have a Grand Ambassador in Croatia who is awesome. We have a Grand Ambassador up in Canada. And so each one of those will have their own separate coupon codes for the Rag Company Europe, as well as Auto Obsessed up in Canada. So, so we're still getting those all sorted out. But their care packages are shipping out, I think, either today or tomorrow. And hopefully getting some cool products into their hands, some new stuff that maybe they haven't tried, and creating some content from there. So that kind of catches us up on the social media aspect of things. But then for what we're doing this week, a lot of this stuff is going to be just filmed traditionally. So none of it's going to be really like a live, any type of live you'll catch is either going to be on Facebook or on Instagram. It's not going to be anything on YouTube. And we have to really wrangle these people in because we have a lot of big personalities in this.
Well, it's a very diverse arrangement of people. So
it is very diverse. And to just recap, Dylan Von Kleist, who literally just texted to say that the hotel room has been fixed.
Nice.
So he's very good. We've got him coming.
Yep.
Troy Klinkenbeard from Rupes.
Yeah.
We've got a Mr. Jason Kilmer, the Sandman.
Wow.
Coming. He flies in about 11 o'clock. He'll
He's
be
not
here.
here to put us to sleep, right?
No, he's not. He's gonna wet sand some of them fresh paint panels.
That makes sense.
And then Davey
edges.
P from Oberg.
Wow.
Hey,
JDM enthusiast.
JDM enthusiast.
He's got the
man, myth, and legend himself. He's going to be here. So the four of them are landing today to start work on the paintwork on the Subaru. Then, come Wednesday, Eric Joseph flying in.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Otterness flying in.
Mm-hmm.
Those two stopping in to hang out, spend some time with us. Then, Wednesday night, Juan rolling up from Idaho Falls, Juan Gonzalez.
Nice.
And Buck Hoogaboom flying in Wednesday night, landing.
These guys are crazy.
They're all going to be here for the Q&A on Thursday.
Which obviously won't be happening in here because there is not enough room for all those people.
But the point is, what we're going to be doing is we've got Dylan and Troy working on the body of the car as well as us. We'll probably just split up and pick a side. Working on the body of the car. Because as you guys know, the paintwork is okay. It's not great, but we've got to really get it polished out.
And we do need Jason to get in there and sand everything that he can.
Anything that can be sanded will get sanded. Then on the other side in the wash bay, we've got all the freshly painted parts from Sean McNally.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of fresh paint that needs sanded and polished.
As I say, Jason,
basically
I
full color
expect,
sand. Get all that stuff ready to go so that it can go on the car. So we've got a hood, trunk, side skirts, and front bumper that need all wet sand. Oh, and the spoiler, or the not the spoiler, the scoop.
The scoop.
The hood scoop
the hood scoop
needs painted or needs sanded as well. So all that gets sanded. The spoiler is going to be part of the body of the car, meaning we didn't paint that, so we're going to polish that out, get that looking as sharp as possible.
Yep.
And then we're going to put some PPF on that later on. But today, that's what we're doing. We're going to be splitting up today and tomorrow and possibly Wednesday. We're just going to be throwing down, hammering on some paint, having some fun.
Yep.
Get the music going.
Pump up the jam.
Pepsi flowing.
Pump it up. The bass is pumping.
It's going to be good. So make sure you guys tune in on our lives when we go live, either on Facebook or Instagram. If you're not following those guys already, make sure you're following them so that you can get on and watch maybe their feeds because everybody's going to be doing something different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then Wednesday, we should have everything ready to go because Thursday, we've got everybody there. We're going to just kind of probably either start coating the car or just hang out, have some fun. Thursday, get ready for coating, live Q&A. Friday, we will coat the panels on the vehicle.
Right.
And we're going to be coating it with CSU. So G-Technics CSU, Crystal Serum Ultra. Now you're wondering, how did we get our hands on some Crystal Serum Ultra?
Well, we brought in the pros,
Well, we brought
naturally.
in two authorized installers. So Juan Gonzalez and Buck Hoogaboom.
So here's the other
do
thing.
that.
I'm really hoping that Dr. Color Chip kit comes in.
Ah, yeah.
That's kind of a big deal.
Like today.
Thursday basically sounds like if we can, fingers crossed, we can get the Dr. Color Chip done.
because if I can get the
when
Color
did you
Chip.
order that?
I ordered it last week, but you have to remember it takes about a week for them to, because it comes from Florida, is where Dr. Color Chip is located. So I have to fill in everything I can before we coat it, because once it's coated, I'm not going to be able to get in there.
right.
So hopefully we'll have that here by then, and so
We'll just go around that area and get back to it later.
We might
And
have
then
to.
the following week, another big week, we're going to have Juan here. We're going to be shooting a new series with Juan in Spanish. And then towards the end of the week, we have Rennie and Keith
Yeah.
will be here in the studio with us. And so they'll they'll pop on for the following week's Q. So a busy 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It is. It is going to be a busy 2 weeks. And so that's why we need to stay energized because we've all been losing some weight.
We
right?
have
Yeah.
been.
And I hope you don't mind. I'm going to snack
Oh,
on a healthy
okay.
snack here.
Crunch
And-
kale vampire
and,
kale. I don't know if that's good. It says vampire on it.
Have
What?
you ever tried kale
Vampire
chip, Dane?
vampire
I've
killer.
had kale. I haven't had a kale
Is that
chip.
garlic?
It
It says vampire killer on it.
try it.
I love how
assume that's-
awful this looks.
This is we're gonna have stinky breath.
That's kale.
Oh, okay. I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
That's delightful.
The fact you said you're all right with that is impressive because you normally hate
I
kale
absolutely
stuff.
hate vegetables with a
Yeah.
passion.
And you just ate a kale chip.
Yeah.
And so,
Is this mostly vegetables?
yeah, it is.
Oh.
Huh.
And so,
okay. Interesting.
Look
this
at me,
bag.
everybody. Eating healthy.
Fill this bag.
I'll just have kale chips with my morning coffee.
Guess how many calories are in that whole bag?
How many?
180.
Wow.
In the whole bag.
Nutrient dense calories. So something to think about, before you pick up that bag of chips.
Okay.
Yeah, noted. Okay, where'd you get that anyway?
I got that at Fred Meyer, Dane, where I do most of my shopping. Also known as Kroger.
Yep.
Also known as
Ralph's.
Is it Ralph's?
Yeah,
No,
Kroger's.
No,
there's
Ralph's
another-
is different.
Yeah, there's another store that starts with an F that I think is Fred Meyer as well. I don't know what the heck it's called. Anyways, but yes, so we're all down some weight. Levi, how many pounds have you lost total?
I think I'm just under 5.
Under 5 pounds. Dane, you are down.
I think I'm like right around 4.
Yeah, heck yeah. I've lost 14, almost 14 and a half
I'm
pounds.
impressed.
Dang,
I'm
dude.
really proud of the ramp up myself that I've been able to achieve in the last week.
Yep.
I'm hoping to really kick it up a notch and continue this streak. If I can lose another 5 this next week,
Yeah.
Be great.
especially with everybody here, that's the worry.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody here, lots of food, lots of meals.
You're going to be inclined to eat a lot of stuff you probably shouldn't.
I really need to be able to watch that. So,
No.
but I think between all of us, next week's numbers should be pretty insane because we finally hit that mark.
Well,
You've been dropping them LBs.
Well, but here's the problem. The weeks where we have everybody in town are the weeks where we do lunch every day.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So what do we do about that? Because I know there's going to be a Domino's day.
Fiesta chicken.
I know there's. I hope it's Fiesta chicken.
Oh, that and I feel a Boise Fried Company. coming
Honestly,
up. Let's
if
be
we
realistic.
just go get
It
a bunch
always
of Fiesta
happens.
what we
chicken
do is
burritos.
you and I get the bunless burgers.
Yeah, I would have
At
to.
Boise Fried
Wait,
Company.
with honestly, I'd probably get 2 bunless burgers with no fries. So that
Yeah.
way, I'm just getting a protein packed.
Yep.
Wow,
think
you
that's
want
what we're
to
gonna-
offend
I
the
think
guy
that's-
behind the counter at Boise Fried Company. Order something without fries.
I'm sorry, man. I don't know what else to say.
I think we're gonna have to do that and
competition.
hit up some of the their Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into
Yeah.
the good old fashioned weekends. We're gonna switch this up. We're gonna start with Dane first.
How's that switching it up? I feel like I go
Oh.
early most weeks.
Okay,
But,
then.
all right.
Hey, impressive weekend.
Well, this weekend I did my usual thing where I go out and I buy things at hardware stores that I think I'm going to use, and then I end up dropping the project for a little bit because
Nice.
I have this bad habit of like racking up the projects. All right, awesome, I got this thing, I'm going to go do it, and I got better things to do.
Batman
I got to do
Begins is
something
on
else.
TV. I should watch that.
I bought a new storm door for the front of
Ooh,
my
nice.
house because my current storm door is a rickety old thing that is on its last legs. The mosquito screen on it is like so. People have pushed against it for years to like open the door instead of pushing the actual handle on the door. They just push the screen because the
Well,
whole
that's
thing
not
is like a top to
acceptable.
bottom screen.
Yeah,
It's
retrain
bowed out
those
so
people.
much. It looks
Do any of those
like
people still live with you?
no.
Okay, good.
I'm just saying, it's been a long time coming. It was like that when I bought it, and it's
Okay,
only gotten
all
worse
right.
since
Yeah,
then.
it's time then.
Yeah.
You've been in that house almost 37 years. It's time to get a new storm door.
I've owned the house since April 2011, so that's 10 years. So
Okay.
that's pretty good, I think.
Pretty
yeah.
close to 37.
Yeah, so I've got a decade in that thing. And it's just little stuff. I look around the house and I'm like, I've done like my saving stuff built up. Now I want to spend money on the things around the house that are going to make an improvement, not to help resale value, because I don't think I want to sell it necessarily, but I want to increase the curb appeal. I want to make it a more pleasant place to, you drive by and you don't go, ugh. You know, sometimes you see a house and you go, wow, how are they? Oh, right, there's no HOA here. And I don't like HOAs, but still there's like a line sometimes. So I've got the concrete poured on the side, which is really exciting. It's now all completed. It looks good, goes right up to the back of the garage. Not very wide. It's kind of a pinch point.
How's the house paint on the outside?
House paint, this is the beauty of it. The one really smart thing the previous owner did was they did vinyl siding on the entire house.
Oh, okay.
So it's
only the trim.
It's never faded.
So it's only the trim that needs
The
paint.
trim was something that I painted when I first got in the house. So it's about 10 years old now.
Okay.
But it's like a burgundy paint. And I know you're like, oh, why'd you get a cream-colored house of burgundy? It's like, because that's the color it was, and I didn't want to try and change it up. I figured preserve what's there and just build on it.
Yeah.
So from the exterior, yeah, it's like
So
a whitish, creamish color house.
Outside's looking good. Now you got the new concrete laid.
The concrete definitely helps make the front look more appealing because before it was just these ratty looking rocks with a essentially falling to pieces gate because the gate was also original to the house and that thing was just toast. Like the wood on that couldn't be more fragile and brittle at this point. But I'm going to build a new gate, and now I've decided, you know what? I'm going to hold off on the gate because I already have my temporary barrier to keep my dog from getting out. I'm going to wait until I have some people come and do the fence because my fence is falling over in the backyard because my neighbor's tree is pushing against it. And they have a giant German Shepherd that I don't want getting into my yard. So he's sweet, but it's just like, okay, I don't need more dogs.
Well, I mean, basically every junkyard has a dog back there,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And
You
so
gotta have it.
it's a junkyard dog back there. And
Also
he's
one of the greatest
it's
WWF,
basically, what it reminds me of,
wrestlers.
Dane, you have the Sandlot dog on the other side of that fence.
The fun thing about that
beast.
dog is the house behind me is one of the only 2-story houses in my area of the neighborhood. Like it's unusual. It's like a split level almost because it's kind of buried into the side of a
It's
very
like my
shallow
house.
hill.
I can see. I have like
It's
castle,
strange.
and I can look around at my port windows, and I can
So-
look out and see all the other
So the
single level
layout is
homes
a little
around me.
odd, but
Feels good.
there's a big tree between my house and my backyard and their house for privacy purposes. But their dog gets out on their back deck, and from the deck there is the roof of the garage. So the dog climbs off the deck and walks around on the roof of the house, and that's just what he does. German
Smart
Shepherd,
dog.
big German Shepherd, just walking around on the roof, checking things out, seeing how it's going.
Yeah.
But I can always like clockwork, I'll just go out my backyard, look up, and be like, "Yep, there he is," just chilling on the roof of the house behind me. So yeah, goofy little things. I don't know. I feel like it's quirks of nature, but he seems happy. I just don't want him getting into my yard. So I'm going to fix that fence because the fence, it's basically the support posts have rotted.
Okay.
Like those are toast.
Did you know how much support posts are now?
I don't know how much support posts are, but I know building a fence is expensive.
$44 a piece.
Yeah, that's great.
They used to be $7.95.
Yeah. I suspect something with all the buildings being built around
Nope.
lately. No.
Because the borders are closed.
Oh,
wood can't
okay.
get in,
Well,
and
yeah,
wood
so-
can't go out.
Supply, demand, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, it's not great because all of the fence to my house is also original with the exception of the one on my south neighbor's side who actually reassembled theirs because their dog like broke through it and they fixed it themselves. And I was like, oh, thank you. I helped them a little, but that's something we talked about before. But now the entire back run, which is like 80 feet long, 100 feet long, is just leaning over at a certain point where one of the posts is toast. And they got a tree with branches that's just helping it along, like pushing it.
Did you get your chainsaw out and just cut those branches off?
So I basically broke the branches that were on my side. I got rid of those. But the problem is the trunk of the tree has grown such that it's actually
Pushing around
past
it.
the base of where the property line is, where the fence was. So it is forcing the whole thing over. And the tree was obviously small before, but now it's like, oh crap, it's really encroaching. So I had to use an old worn out deck chair to prop up the fence in the back. Like this is just
Very nice.
wonderful, high quality
engineering,
Dane rigging in the back, but
very nice.
hidden between an arborvitae and the fence
spiders
itself. There's a lot of stuff back there. I put on
Spider
some
house is
gloves.
what that's
I
called.
got my torn back deck chair, and I just said, "Sorry, buddy, you're going here." And I just wedged it in there, and I pushed the fence
God.
up, jammed it in some more, and now That fence isn't going anywhere.
good.
But it's ugly, or it
And you
would
can
be,
sit
except
there.
the arborvitae is blocking the view, so you don't even know it's there.
It's added additional seating.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have had to resort to some
I'm impressed.
It
unfortunate
is impressive,
mods
Yeah.
to the back there.
Have you thought about going down and getting some big screws and just drilling the
Yeah.
fence into the tree?
There's an idea. It could be the support post. What
Yeah.
sturdier thing is there
Yeah,
than
just
a...
cut around, cut
Yeah.
out the rounds, and then just screw into the tree.
Okay, so that's an option. But basically,
how
I'm
much fun
going
that
to
would
need
be.
a new fence because this thing is original to the house back in '92 when they built everything, and it needs to be replaced.
Well, Dane, when you're ready to replace your boards, call me, and I will take that wood off your hands.
Okay.
Because that is a gold mine.
Okay.
I will take it for free. I won't pay you for it.
Oh,
but I will
okay.
tell you it's a gold
I'm glad,
mine.
I'm glad
because
you're
I'm
telling
gonna
me how
resell
valuable
that
it
wood.
is, and then saying you won't spend a cent
I
on
will
it. Noted.
resell it. I will buy you.
won't help me,
Express
reinforce
Cafe.
my-
I'll buy you
my
a
property
$20
line. I
Express
get it.
Cafe gift
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
So
Exchange for your fence.
yeah,
wood.
basic stuff around the house. Did that. Bought the storm door. Didn't install it, but it's sitting in my garage now. I'll get to that probably this weekend. But other than that, I did the duckbill spoiler on my car, which I was very excited about.
Nice.
That was very
I
exciting.
had our boy Jonathan paint it, and
Yeah.
I think he did a very good job.
Very good.
He did, and like his situation is interesting. Like he can use his shop, but it's just him doing it.
Correct. Yeah. So it's his workshops. He works for Caliber
Yeah.
Collision, which is a pretty big
It's a good. It's a
chain.
big
It's a
chain of.
big chain, which surprises me for Dane.
Yeah.
Going to a chain.
Yeah,
but
well, and they're not
It's a little
very
different
well
if
known.
I'm not
The
eating it.
Funny thing is, Caliber Collision isn't very well known for doing great quality paint on their jobs. So, real lucky that we got Jonathan to
Yeah.
be able to do this stuff on his
Well,
own.
Jonathan here, he basically does it so
He's
he can
really
learn,
trying.
learn technique and
yeah,
stuff.
he's
So
really
he's
trying too.
made a
So-
point of it. He won't paint a whole car, but he will do parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he
And-
does it on the
yeah.
weekends.
Yeah.
Basically, he takes side jobs. He doesn't get charged for paint because basically he's getting more practice in. So he just charges for his labor and time.
Yeah, and I make
but-
sure to give him a big tip because I really appreciate
Yeah,
the service.
and what's
so,
nice is
yeah.
that I drop off a part to his house in Meridian. He paints it over the weekend, and
That's
I
exactly
pick
what
it up.
happened.
And I pick up on a Sunday night back at his house, and I say, "Here's your cash, thanks, man." And it's pretty much the easiest
Yeah.
paint stuff you could ever do.
Yeah.
No, I
So it's
dropped it
great.
off with him on like Thursday or Friday,
Yeah.
and then he painted it on Saturday, and I picked it up Sunday morning. And
Yeah.
then I went to install it on my car where I thought it was going to be easy. It seems like an easy thing. I didn't realize Jaguar stuff's
It's a Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Of course, it's
stuffs
a Jaguar.
so much stuff inside the factory spoiler.
Yeah.
There's a GPS unit, there's the brake lights, there's the other stuff that you expect, but then the radio antenna, like these things are integrated into it. So when you open it up, you're like, oh, gee, I hope that seal never breaks.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting the original one off was a little bit exciting because I got, you take the brake light off and you get in there, they got these plates, and then I saw that dreaded freaking little dot in the middle of the Torx screw bolt. When you see the dot in the middle, you know it's a freaking security bolt. And the security bolts suck if you don't have
We use those
the
on
bit.
our. I use that on the Elantra to keep the front license plate attached.
But
as you
let's think
should,
about this for a moment. The security bits, they're not that hard to find. What is the point of the security bit other than to inconvenience the person actually installing it? Because I guarantee you, the day those came out, the thieves were like, "Oh, buy him one of those." I mean, it's not really
So could you use the one from your license plate kit, or did you have to
They're
buy
different.
a whole set?
different.
Are they Torx?
They're
Yeah,
Torx,
it's a Torx
Okay.
security. Yeah.
but they're not security on the plate. They are on the
Mine are.
spoiler. I should have security ones on the plate.
Yeah.
That would actually
You know
kind of
why?
make
Because I've
sense.
had plates stolen before.
I've never had that.
Me either.
Yeah, it's one of those things. When you get your license plate stolen, you think it's so weird. You're like, why did anybody steal a license plate?
And then somebody accuses you of a crime a week later, and you're like, "Well,
Yeah.
that's not me."
Yep. But
Yeah.
anyway,
No.
Crazy.
So, yeah, that really derailed me because I was like, I did that thing where I'm like, oh, I didn't expect to get a storm door this weekend, but I went and got that. Oh, I got the spoiler to do too. Yeah, that's more
So then you had to
exciting
go
than the
back.
storm door. So the storm door is going in the garage. Let's put on the spoiler. I'm sure it'll be easy. Oh, I look online. Unlike a Honda Civic or, something else, you could find a lot of people doing this stuff. On the Jaguar forums, it's basically all just the same owner's manual, and it only shows you the most
Man,
rudimentary.
so you missed an opportunity for the Great Dane channel. Just
Yeah. Well, now I know how it works, so I
Okay.
could probably demonstrate it for a YouTube channel and have 5 people watch it who own Jaguar
Mm-hmm.
XKRs and go, thanks! And it'll be totally worth it. Now I understand why no one else does it.
Yeah.
But point was, I got off the old factory one that was small, and I put on the new one, the big boy, and it's like 3 times bigger than the other one. And I was very excited about that because the car's already fast. I don't need to make it much faster. I just wanted to look the part too. So,
But you've got the rest of the body kit still to put on too.
yeah. So I have skirts and I have a front splitter. Those are all carbon fiber I want to put on. I've also got a diffuser on the way, but it's being hand built in Germany and then shipped over here. So that's very exciting. But yeah, that's going to take a little while.
That'll be very
Unfortunately, it won't arrive until after our event. So I'm a little bummed about that. So I'm going to have to
You have to
accommodate
take that-
my design for the wrap to, do the regular bumper. And then when the time comes, I'll have to do what you did with the Suburban, which is, okay, I'm going to have to figure out how to do this myself.
Or have Creative Wraps do it
Or
for
do
you.
that. Yeah, that's true.
Have
so,
them do the back bumper.
yeah. Get around to that when I do get the part.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a whole bumper. It's what you see in the thumbnail
Yeah,
on this video.
that's
Is
cool.
That full diffuser. So I'm excited about that because the regular bumper is kind of boring. It's just flat and blank.
Yeah.
But first world problems. I get it. But it was just one of those things where I've been saving up for, it, and I was so excited.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, now I can kind of do the tuner boy stuff with a car that's not traditionally seen as that.
I think
So-
your car is going to look insane.
I'm so excited.
with all
It's gonna
these
look pretty
things
mean,
on it.
man.
It's going to
Yeah.
be a vicious car.
So I'm stoked, but I know I gave Nick some videos earlier. I don't know if he has them of the spoiler actually installed on the car, just comparing before and after. So you'll see my car is wonderfully dirty and scratched up from a tunnel wash that I put it through because reasons. Yeah, I normally don't like tunnel washes. Touchless is preferred. But the new spoiler is much taller. Like that right there is much taller than it used to be.
Yeah.
It was probably a good 2-3 inches shorter than before. But now that I've got this, I'm really liking how it's coming along. I just want to get that splitter on the front, although the front already scrapes on everything. So I'm debating maybe raising the car up an inch, although that may be a little tricky. And then I could push the wheels out
Those
more.
you got cut springs on there. They just
Well,
heated them
they're-
up with a
they're-
torch and cut them off, or
I think it actually has like full coilover setup, but
Like,
the
yeah, I
car
don't-
the car had the lowering done before I bought
Oh, I
it,
know.
so
I
I've
just-
never looked that closely at it to see
Yeah.
like what I can do with it, but it might be
if
something.
it's got
I should look
coilovers,
at.
that'd be all right. You can
Yeah.
raise it up a little bit.
So,
Jimmy was doing that the other day.
possibilities.
So
But yeah, no, that's essentially what
Nice.
I did. So yeah, you probably see on my Instagram story the process of what it looked like before and after, and obviously my tag is somewhere at the bottom usually on these things at Great Dane Films, GR and the number 8 Dane Films. So that's my Instagram handle. If you want to go look at my story and see what I did.
cool.
Heck
All
yeah,
right.
on.
So how about Levi? What'd you do
Okay.
this weekend?
Well, I detailed most of this entire week.
Oh,
wow.
So
okay.
last week on Monday, my buddy Wayne, who has lots of vehicles,
He does.
got his Acura TL, his 08 Acura TL back. Now, he bought that car new and has really loved that car. He lowered it. He's got 19s on it, tinted the windows. It's just been his favorite car he's ever owned. When he got divorced about 4 years ago, his ex-wife took the car in the divorce. Before she moved away, I detailed it for him when she moved to Eugene. Car's been out of his possession for the last 3 years,
Okay.
and she needed help with a new purchase. She wanted a new car. So she called him up, said, hey, I want to get a new car. I was wondering if you could help me out with that. And he said, okay, but I want the TL back. She said, deal. He got the TL back. He's like, all right, I want the clear bra taken off of it. I want the whole thing gone through. I want it coated. I coated it with Legend.
Nice.
So I worked on that all week last week, delivered it to him Friday morning. So needless to say, it was a long process. I had to go through the whole car. It had a like moss growing in the jams. I mean, it's just
So it
she had been
sitting.
running it through a car wash, but she hadn't been wiping out the door jams. So the water would sit and the
I
dirt
see.
would accumulate. And in Oregon, that's pretty common. So
It became a terrarium.
I had to really get all that moss out of the spots. Just really, the car needed cleaned. And when he flew up there to drive it back, he was like, the car's hammered. And when I got it, it looked, to most people, they go, well, this looks clean. But I know what his eye is, and I know what he's looking at. So got everything done on it, got it looking sharp, got it coated, working with Legend. I have a feeling I've kind of cracked the Legend code, so to speak. I'm finding much easier use with creatures.
Okay.
Easier removal with creatures. And I don't know if it's the ply or the thickness, the GSM of the towel, or the plushness and the single dual-sided action of it. But I'm still working on that. So it's still a work in progress. Now, so finish that. Then Friday, kind of just hung out. We didn't have much to do. Me and the kids just kind of messed around with Carly. We watched some movies, kind of picked up the house. My nieces were in town all week. So Friday was kind of everybody's gone. Yeah. Let's just chill out. Like, don't have much to do. So kind of worked in the yard a bit, worked in the garage, kind of tried to pick stuff up because I had a car coming in Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, I had Tyler Centerus's red E36 M3.
It's such a good looking car.
In the garage. So worked on that. Car is always covered in overspray. One thing I've noticed, that car is always covered in overspray. And the reason is he parks it behind his building, right behind his vent for his paint booth. So when he's shooting painting helmets, the mist, overspray hits. It's not a lot. It's not a lot, but it sits right on the top of his car, and it's just faint. So it doesn't ever hit the sides of the car. It's always on the top part. And he's also near some railroad tracks, so usually there is a little bit of fallout mixed in with that. But if you guys want to check it out, you can check out his Instagram page, Sensport Graphics, CENSPORT Graphics.
Be amazed by the helmet.
You can check out
designs.
some of the helmets that he paints. They're pretty ridiculous. But so I worked on his car then, utilized a new wool or the new Rupes coarse wool with fine.
Nice.
Well, yeah.
Put the whole car in that, wiped it down. Then I coated the rest of the car in Exo. And then I did Legend on the front bumper.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to see if that helps a little bit. He gets that car detailed every year. I see that car every year. I've seen that car every year for the last decade.
He's a driver too. Like he really uses those.
I know that car really well.
Yeah.
And so thought, well, let's try it. Used a pair of creatures with Legend on the front. No problem. Same thing. I was like, well, this is kind of working out.
So it keeps coming back to the creatures.
Yeah. Creatures were really making it.
We've noticed that in the past that like anytime you're having trouble with, say you got an Eagle or even a 365, something else, the creature is always like that sweet spot.
It is a sweet spot. And I think Anthony and I, when we use G-Technic products, we found that the Purple Pearl and an Eagle 500 work the best. It's the best combination. Yeah. You do your initial leveling pass with the Purple Pearl. And then you do your final wipe with the Eagle. We tried with that with Legend. Legend is very sticky. And so it's almost like it doesn't want that like high pile. No, it doesn't like the Pearl.
Oh, the Pearl.
And it doesn't like the high pile.
Oh, okay.
They're both super sticky. So, but they have a time spot. There's a spot when...
A sweet spot.
Yeah, a sweet spot when Legend hits that you can wipe it off very easily.
And that's the moment. If you don't get that moment, then you're...
And here's my theory is I think the creature, in its pile ability, if that's a word, when you set it on the surface, when the product's ready to go, it moves perfectly. If it's not, you can see the towel shift under you because it's still stuck, right? So you go to move it, it doesn't move. But if you set that towel on and it works, it just works perfect. And you have that capability. You can wipe and you can have a second and you can flip it to the long pile and come back over. Okay. And so that's kind of, it's almost like it's a test. You can see it. And if it shifts, it's not ready. If it moves, it's perfect. It glides beautifully. So I think that's kind of why I like that, is it kind of tells you, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
So, but anyway, so that's kind of it. Then Sunday, my dad showed up. Took the kids for a walk, walked them down to the park, walked the dog to the park. Augie and I played with the tennis rackets a little bit. and just kind of tried to get out and get a bit of exercise with the kids.
Yeah.
They jumped on the tramp, super easy. All my wife had to do was show Hadley some kids jumping on TikTok
Yeah.
on some trampolines, and so
They're
she went
doing
out
it,
and did
see?
it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very strange, but it seemed to have worked. And then my dad brought over a ton of mild steel for Og and I and Hadley, because I noticed that when I've been doing some foraging,
Yeah.
our high carbon steel doesn't hammer very well.
Oh.
It hammers well. It's just got to be really hot.
Okay.
But I see it move. But to a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old who actually want to see some metal move,
It's impatient.
it's very impatient. It's very boring. So I
Yeah.
told my dad, if you can bring me some steel,
It's like whittling wood.
because he's got a ton of scrap steel at his shop. I mean, a ton. And so I was like, if you can bring me just a mix of some stuff, I need some low carbon, cold rolled stuff that heats up very fast that I can then set out and the kids can hammer and actually see how they move stuff. Also, I wanted to get a couple pieces of some rebar and stuff so that way I can practice some blows, as they're called, where you hit, and that way you can figure out different techniques for hammering to do different shapes and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, well, kill two birds with one stone, give the kids something to smack at, give me something to practice with, and have a little fun. So hopefully we'll get some time in the next coming weeks to be able to do that. But other than that, my weekend was very light, very simple, very easy. We just kind of hung out, chilled out, relaxed as much as we could, and then got my cars done, and that's it. Then we've got what my wife calls Hell Week, which are the next 2 weeks for us. So
welcome to Hell Week.
yeah,
All
Anthony,
right.
how was your weekend?
Pretty good. So my weekend started off. So my Friday wasn't really that exciting. So I'll talk about my Thursday. So on Thursday night, I drilled out my baffles on the BMW exhaust. Right. So yes, it is louder. And so I thought it was going to be an easy process. Right. I watched a YouTube video. Guy did it in 5 minutes in the YouTube video, obviously with a lot of cutting. So I'm like, this shouldn't be an issue for me. Basically, there's 3 spot welds on the exhaust, and I thought, okay, I just drill these things out. Take a slide hammer, it pops out. Bought everything I needed. The cheapest slide hammer you could buy is actually comes as part of a PDR kit on Amazon.
Hey.
It's cheaper to buy the PDR kit with the metal slide hammer than it is to buy a real slide hammer.
Oh, boy.
Just FYI. So I bought another PDR kit with a slide hammer for $20 for my part-time PDR gig that I run.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Bad reviews. And so I bought that.
Candle wax you're using on the car?
Yeah.
Got a video about
So
that.
I bought that, and I looked up. Basically, I'm drilling through stainless steel, right? But like a very hard stainless.
Yeah, which is not easy to do.
And I
what
looked it
tip
up,
are you using?
and I was like, okay, so there's and I don't know anything about bits, guys. I really drill bits. I don't know anything about them. So I started doing some research. I'm like, okay, so there's titanium bits, and then there's
Diamond carbide.
There's carbide bits, and then there's plated bits, and then there's all sorts of bits. So I went to the store. Grabbed whatever bits I thought the heck would work. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And so get home thinking it's an easy project, zip off the back 2 pieces, and I start jumping in with a carbide bit, and it took, for the one pilot hole I was drilling with the smallest little 30 seconds, whatever the heck it was, it took me, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes to break all the way through.
Were you
right?
using one of those old-timey drills like this?
No, I was
He's
using,
sitting there cranking it.
So
got
I
the piece
wish
of wood right here, and you're just
Yeah.
like,
So I was using the Milwaukee,
Okay,
right?
good.
With the nice.
So no shortage of power.
No, it was powerful. I just didn't know what
The bit was the problem.
It was just
then.
taking forever. So I was like, oh my god,
well,
this
it's
sucks.
probably because it's hot and hard. It's probably already annealed and hardened.
Yeah. Well, I ended up going through 2 bits. I was only able to make a hole and a half, right?
Okay.
And I go, okay, well, this is ridiculous, right? And I'm doling out the bits, so now they're not cutting anymore. So I went to Lowe's, got more bits, but then I bought one blue bit. It's called a spider bit. I didn't know what the heck it was. I just bought it because it looked nice. And so got home, burned through the other carbide bits, didn't even scratch it, and then jumped to this spider bit. It's a blue coated spider bit. It says it's 80 times stronger than titanium. Holy crap. That bit
that did it?
zips right through, and I said, oh, well, I'm going back to the store. So $60 in bits later, I come home.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
And Katie goes, why are you buying all these bits? And I say, Katie, I'm hoping these blue bits are the last bits I'll ever have to buy in my lifetime. Because
I broke all my other
They
ones.
cost as much as 10 of those other
Yeah,
ones.
because I broke all my other ones. And but anyways, end up zipping it off and starting it up. Bike sounds a lot meatier, throatier. It's a little bit loud. I mean, it's actually quite a bit louder, and it has a good like feel when you hit the throttle. You know what I mean? When you have that feedback, it's nice. And so, the pursuit of still working on the bike is happening.
You removed a little restriction in the process. So.
And then on top of that, the fun thing is I found that leak that appeared has disappeared, which is actually worse than if it would have just stuck around.
That is kind of the car guy's nightmare, is the problem that solves itself. And
I don't know what it was.
It could come back at any time.
That
worse.
That seal is no longer leaking. I have no idea why. And so I cleaned it up and I zipped everything back together. And I said, "Screw it, man! I'm just gonna ride it."
But
and
you looked inside.
I looked.
So.
Yeah, I looked. I couldn't find anything. So I don't know what's
call it
going
good
on.
for now.
I'm thinking maybe it was dried out and eventually it got some moisture in it and helped it reseal, and the heat maybe cycled it. I have no idea.
It might have been. So
there we go, man. So, but yeah, I just kind of been having fun working on the bike and obviously riding it more. So now I've crossed over 1,000 miles on that bad boy, and it feels good. Good.
Technically now it's your bike because you put more miles on it than the previous owner.
That's what I needed to do.
He's established dominance of the bike at this point.
I do, and that's kind of what it is.
Thank you, G. Davis.
I'm trying to ride the crap out of it. What does it say? When does
Dane's Backyard Jungle Adventure and Fudge Emporium open for the season?
That's fantastic.
Never change, G.
And then
take a ride on the Buckaroo chair, which is attached to the fence.
Yeah, pretty much. And so, anyways, then Saturday morning, I think it was a pretty chill morning. I didn't really do a whole lot. I think I just kind of did some more stuff around the house. And then I got like this kind of called a wild hair, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. It's in the garage. Basically, I'm really good at making a mess, but I'm also really good at picking it up. And I like just being in the garage, picking up tools, organizing things that I make a mess with. And so I was putting things away. And I look above me, and in the garage, I have my crawl space, going up into above the garage. And I was looking at it, I'm like, you know what? I've never even looked up there. Not even once. I probably should look up there. So I moved my thing, right? Moved the little piece out of the way, and I got a ladder and I climbed up there.
Immediately attacked by spiders.
I put my head up there and I go,
there's a body.
Oh my God, it's a whole new world up here.
Oh
yeah,
it is
storage.
An entire city was above my garage, right? Because I have a tall roof.
You have a very tall roof up there,
and I couldn't believe it.
Anthony, you could build another room up there.
So listen. So I'm looking up there and I go, "Oh my God!" I look back down through the hole and I see all the Christmas crap that's been haunting me for literally 6 months. I've been in that house.
So what you do is go down, you get some.
Be gone.
So here's what you do.
Well, listen. Let me finish.
I'm just going to give you a heads up first.
Hold on. You ready for this? So then I said, "I'm doing this today. I'm going to do this."
Oh, you already did it.
I'm going to do this today. So I get off the ladder. I say, "Hey, Katie, I'm taking off. I'm fixing our storage issue here in the house." And she goes, "What are you talking about? Love you, bye." Right? Close the door. I'm out. I'm on my way to Lowe's.
Okay,
good. Did a couple measurements. Picked up some very nice, flooring grade, whatever the heck it is. OSB, right?
Good boy.
Some strong stuff.
Yeah.
Spent $150 in wood. I did not know.
It trimmed.
I did not know OSB cost this much, right?
Yeah.
So I picked up this OSB here. I bought a ton of this stuff, and I went back to the house. I got Torx drill bits because they don't strip.
Yep.
I got everything I needed to, and I said it's time to build out the city.
Yeah.
So there I am up there starting the new city build, also known as my spare bedroom when my wife gets mad at me.
Yeah.
And you can see this next shot here. I started laying everything out.
Wow, look at all that room. It's like a real attic.
It is.
Yes.
It is. It's amazing. So I hucked the boards up in there. I crawled up there and I just started zipping screws in, and I just started building it as I was going. So you know what I mean? I started it small and then built it out. But what I wanted to do was not cover any of the electrical, areas, so I can still have access to everything. So I basically moved things around in a way that I can get to it. The third bay is, there's no point in trying to crawl over to third bay because there's lots of trussing and beams that go through there. So I kind of primarily kept it to just the 2 bay there, but I could keep going.
Yeah, there's almost another 700 square feet up there, technically.
Like literally. And so but I just started, I'm like, well, I could just start putting a bunch of crap up here. So I just kept throwing stuff up. And it's the most amazing thing. I knew I was an adult when I was jacked up at Lowe's telling the 18-year-old kid, hey, I'm cutting these because I'm creating a city above my garage and it's going to be freaking awesome. And he goes, whatever, man. I don't, like whatever. I don't care. But it's tall enough so I can stand up in there. So I can stand up, and then what I end up
G.
doing...
Davis says that space will eventually be rented by Jimmy Ellis.
The Explorer to say that he's Wi-Fi straight from 8%. Pretty much. And so I can stand up there, and then I put LED lights that are all battery powered. So when I climb up there, they're all magnetized to the bracing. So I just click those on and I turn on the room
exactly
up there.
what you need to do,
right?
So have you thought about getting a ladder, one of the drop down things with the ladder, so you can?
I would love
Christmas
that.
vacation
I don't know how those work.
face.
I don't know how you install them. I don't know how that, but I would love that. That would be awesome. But I braced, so right when you walk up there, you have your few boards. But what's nice is that they did a couple catwalks on there already.
Yeah.
And so basically when you get to the top, I put boards right around that circle there.
So you can climb in anywhere.
You can get up and put your butt up on it.
Yeah.
So I can get up there on myself with a 6-foot ladder, no problem. I don't need somebody to hold the ladder or anything. But it's the best thing I never knew I had.
Yeah, no.
Love
so
that.
you were able to get all the Christmas stuff,
All of
hopefully?
it.
Oh,
All
my
of it.
goodness. Wow.
So I have all the Christmas stuff up there. I put my Del Sol seats that I didn't know what the heck to do with. I broke them in half. I just unbolted them.
Yeah.
Wrapped them up in saran wrap. Threw those up there for a later date. And I have another...
Did you put the Grom up there?
Well, I have about... I measured it out. So I think in total... I got...
Yes, honey, I sold the bike.
He's got a crane. He's like, slides it up.
So they were an 8 by 5 board, right? That I got cut up, right? So I cut it up into 2. So I split it in half and split it. So an 8 by 5 is 40 square feet, right?
Yeah.
So I had about 80 square feet worth of boards up there. I only covered about maybe a little more than half of that, so 45, and I haven't even stacked things on top of it myself, so I can keep going, basically. Yeah. And I don't know if there's a weight limit up there, but
as long as it's all pretty even.
Well, I'm not, I'm trying to even it out.
You're building those, you're putting them on the wood.
Well,
so
the OSB is
it's
strong,
allowing it to
and I'm
help
trying anything that was heavy, I
across.
just kind of put it over one of the studs, and I kind of called it good.
Nice.
Is it hang bang? I think
It's
probably.
never appropriate.
But really clean up there. Well, I mean, it's a new house, obviously, but I was just surprised. I'm thinking like, oh my God, there's gonna be spiders up here. No spiders. It was great.
Yeah.
No, in my house there definitely would be, but in yours is so new, you don't have to worry.
Yeah,
about
well, I'm
that
thinking if I go up there enough, I might scare them off, right? Just appear, right?
Yeah.
That guy comes back a couple times a year to pull crap down. I just wish I could fit the Christmas tree up there. It's too big. It's a bag. It's basically in a giant bag, and it's too much of a hassle to put it up.
You can't it's not narrow enough. You could fit it.
It's a wide fake tree, and so I don't know how else the heck to do it unless I just put it in pieces. But it's all strung.
That's all right.
If
If all you had to do was deal with the tree,
that's
pretty good.
It's not bad, but I was able to clear off half the shelving in my garage.
That's amazing, right?
So I was pretty happy, and create more space for
and
other
you didn't
stuff.
have to go rent a storage unit, which
I didn't have to rent a storage.
It's getting very
I
expensive.
have one above my garage, so I didn't know that. But anyway, so I did that. I was pretty jacked up, guys. I would
have been so excited. That is that's like finding. That's like Dane when he found that wheel and barbecue in the back of his yard. It's like I never knew this existed. Huh. Yeah.
And and Katie's like, all right, enough talking about it. And I said, I can't. I'm like, you don't understand.
You're like, get on this ladder and climb up here and see what I built.
She won't do it. But I was like, you have to see the city up here. It's amazing. like I'm thinking like we can. So I threw camping stuff. I threw the coolers. Basically anything that's like an immediate access thing. I can make it easy to go. But I do agree that it would be really nice if there was like a drop down door rather than just a piece of drywall, sheetrock. That would just make it a little bit nicer.
Or someday you go crazy and you build a staircase at the back of your garage that goes up to it. So it's a nice solid footing. You can take stuff up there and you just put an opening on it. It's still a normal opening, but it's a solid staircase like what we got out here in the warehouse that you could just go up.
But it's all very sturdy, and I could keep obviously building that out. And so I don't. It's already. I think it's good enough where it's at right now. But I was thinking of like, do I do hooks up here? I'm like, there's a snow shovel. There's all of the.
I feel like if we wait on a long enough timeline, the racing sim will wind up there, and you'll get extra screens for it.
What if that was like my
and he just
space.
sits in like one of those kind of like angled corners where it's not really useful for anything anyway, but you mount the TVs low and you're sitting there like F1 position.
I gotta go play up there.
If there was nothing up there, there would be
mounted on the
room.
rafters.
There would be enough room if it was just that. But
man.
I think the boarding. I'm glad I
Just
spent
remember,
a little bit more.
you're up there at the right temperature.
Yeah. In the winter it sucks.
Summertime it's gonna cook, and wintertime it's gonna be freezing.
One thing you can do is put in some vents up there. You can also get a solar powered fan.
Well,
you can mount up there, so it'll help circulate some of that air.
There's the front vent that I have, and then all the side vents are all opened. So there is ventilation, and fortunately there's screens on it to prevent the maybe like bats and crap and wasps from building a nest inside there.
Things from getting in.
But it's pretty cool. I was pretty excited, and so but I spent only a couple hours doing that. It didn't take me very long.
Yeah.
I mean, I was up in there. I just started kind of piecing things wherever they fit, and I said, okay, that looks pretty good to me.
My old house, I had on the second floor, you'd go up in Augie's room, and you'd climb up there, and you could stand all the way up in there. There's probably another 8 feet to the ceiling up there. And if it wasn't such a hard access point, because they had it set up where it was right at the, in the little closet, I would have easily put in one of those stair drop-down doors with the stair to climb in and utilize that space a lot more. I found I used it more when I was getting ready to sell the house because I was up there the whole time trying to fix certain things because they were like, oh, the firewall between the two houses isn't very sturdy. You need to fix it. So I had to put up sheetrock and some other stuff on there. And so I spent a lot of time, but the whole time I was like, I can't believe I'm selling this place. And I had never been in this house 10 years and I never really even got up here except once to change a fan. Yeah. And I was like, I could have used all of this space.
A lot of potential up in these walls.
There's a ton of potential up in that wall. So
I was pretty jacked up, man. I was pretty pumped.
I'm glad you found it early and not like late in the time you spent in the
I'm
house.
just glad I went up there because I didn't really, like I said, I never put my head up there. So, but I did that. So that was done. And then on, I think Sunday, I spent most of the day just thinking about what I could store, and then I took the bike out for another ride. But just been trying to ride as much as I can. The Civic's absolutely filthy. I need to clean that. It's basically I'm very preoccupied with the new toy. I'm very preoccupied with.
We've had a lot of wind lately too.
With a lot of other stuff, and my grass is dying right now. The heat is finally starting to get to. We need water turned on. Some places are getting their water turned on in the city. Mine's still not on yet. And so
mine did. My canal just got filled.
Did it?
Yeah, so I can turn on my irrigation now.
I need that. Basically that's where I'm pretty much at right now. I know there was something else exciting. I just don't know what the heck else it was. So I guess it was a lie. But I don't know. I don't know. If I think about it, I'll let you know. But that was pretty much it.
Nice.
Okay. Well, we've got a busy week.
Yeah.
So, Dane, I think that was pretty good. I don't know if there's anything else. Nick, what are we at the timing on this thing?
I think we're...
Oh, we've only got like 5 minutes left.
We're close.
So we're pretty good there.
Yeah, no, I think we've done a good job here. We really appreciate all you guys who came in here, watching it live, commenting
having
and
Dirk
stuff.
and Lars watching from Germany.
No,
pretty
that's
awesome.
Always fun.
Umberto from Puerto Rico. I mean, this is just great.
We
G
got
Davis,
Yoshi,
of course. Got to have him.
We got all the folks
Yoshi,
in here.
all the guys.
We got Charles Edwards here. We got
Impressive.
Javier.
I do remember what it was. Very small, very short story. My friend Jason did stop by. Jason with the blue Evo that was
Yeah, he got
first
Corvette.
Wash Wednesday.
Jason's new
he
toy.
did stop by on Saturday with his Corvette, and he did show me. So he got a Z06 with it's a C7 Z06 with the ZL7.
No, Z07 package.
What?
No.
There's a
Sorry.
Z07 package on the Z06. It's an extra. It adds more carbon fiber bits and some
It doesn't
other
make
stuff.
any sense. But yeah, so he's got the Z07 package on his Z06 and showed up at my house, right? And it was really funny. Red Corvette, you can't miss it. It's brand new. It's basically got 2,000 miles on it. And one of my neighbors, Jason, was in the garage looking at something, and I just happened to be outside, and one of my neighbors is walking by, and he's like, "What do you do for a living?" And I say, "Oh no, this isn't mine." And I'm like, "That's his in the garage." He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "I was gonna say, man." I'm like, "No, not my car." And a male guy stops by, "Hey man, nice Corvette." I'm like, "Not my car, not my car."
No,
And,
that's what I get every week because I have somebody's different car sitting in my driveway.
Man, you go
And we're
through
gonna
cars
wow,
like
you got a lot of cool
crazy.
cars. I'm like, they're
And they
not
always
mine.
look so
I'm
good.
literally just cleaning them.
Yeah. But I checked out the car because he wanted me to just give it a look over. It's got some California Duster swirls. It was very well taken care of. It only has 2,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
But there's some things that Jason's like, "Man, I want this fixed. I want this fixed." There's a rock chip on the front that was overfilled. Just touch-up pen. He's like, "I need you to cut this out or replace, do this, do this."
Wipe it out with
Can
thinner.
you tell me something? I've seen a few pictures of it, and it confused me a lot. Does he have a wrap on the pillar from the roof?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
outside, like people do the black line on the roof thing, but instead he's got the pillar back black and the
Correct.
roof is
That is-
red.
Yeah, it's wrapped.
It just looks strange
Yeah,
from
so
the side. It's like he went for that black cockpit look, but he didn't,
didn't
do the
do
top,
that.
so it
That's just how
doesn't
the
look
car
Yeah.
like
He
it's
Well,
supposed to.
the previous owner did it and did the vinyl, and so he wants to remove that and get it back
If
to
you put the
normal.
black on the top to complete the look, it would look amazing, but it's just weird without
It is
that.
a little odd, and so he's going to remove that. He wants to go back to normal. He's dying to get it detailed. I mean, he's like, "Dude," I'm like, "Please, can we do this soon?" And I said, "Hey, well, first off, yes, we can do it, but he wants to get the full front PPF. He wants to do all sorts of stuff,
I have a suggestion.
and he'll have to owe me some serious."
Jason
car
was our
favors.
first ever Wash Wednesday.
He was.
Why not have him be a new Wash
And he
Wednesday?
can because I think that his Red Z06 is pretty
I'd say
cool.
a
and
Well, I think you
it's
do
beautiful.
a Wash Wednesday with it now before you detail it.
Maybe, probably it would be a good time. But Jay, taking me for a spin. I've never been in a Z06 before. A C7.
I haven't been in a C7.
And I didn't really know. I mean, so basically, showed me what auto feels like, full power, and then he shows me what paddle shifting feels like, full power. Right? Auto is very smooth. It is very fast. It puts you back in your seat. You definitely feel the kind of like the suction happening. And then I would say when he put it in paddle shifter, it was that, but now with a nice like a cool like a blip of gas
like how my-
between each
yeah.
like wop bop.
My
bop.
Camry
I
does
don't know
that.
how to describe it.
There's a
So
little
My
break in
Camry does
between.
that when I
It,
pull.
Well, 650 horsepower should feel pretty quick.
it's no. Don't get me
It's
wrong.
pretty
The
brutal.
thing is freaking fast. However, right? Keep in mind he had an almost 600 horsepower Evo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is completely different.
Well, it's not as
Basically-
raw as that was, even though this is a essentially stock vehicle.
Well, it is, yeah. The Evo feels like ungodly quick.
Because
And when
the
you're in
Evo
a
is
car-
all-wheel
it's
drive.
a tuned car,
yeah.
and it's
This
got
is
all these
rear-wheel
aftermarket
drive.
parts on it. It feels like a rattle trap ready to kill you.
Yeah.
That's a different. That's where you get that sensation.
It's a violent thing when you're especially when you're banging gears, right?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
very violent. Whereas in the Z06, he was even like, yeah, I still miss the violentness that you would get out of a boosted, all-wheel drive car. He's
It's
like,
just
because he's
exciting.
like this. It's really exciting. Where he's like this. He's like, it's kind of crazy though, because you could be going 90 and then bam, you're going 120, 140, and you can pass anybody you want. But he's like, but when am I going to use that?
Right,
And I said, I get that as well. So he's like, it's kind of hard because it's an auto. So when you're driving around in an auto, you don't have less things to do. And he's like, I'm getting used to that. He said, so when I'm bored, I just put it in paddle shifting mode and downshift and things like that to make it more exciting. But you can tell he's excited to start doing things. That's where he's where he's at. He's like, I need to do things. He just
likes modding and tuning,
But it's hard because you've already got the top of the line thing. Whereas, it might be better for, people that are really after modding to just buy a base C7 Stingray
kind of like
then
what Wayne's
slap
doing.
a giant turbo on it.
That's what Wayne's doing. He's got a supercharger on his now.
No. So he's going to have some fun with that thing. And I think, we should bring that in for a Wash Wednesday. Yeah. Have some fun. People will be happy to see Jason again. And we can throw it out there. It's like, hey, remember, he was the first Wash Wednesday. So
absolutely.
All right.
Cool, guys. This has been awesome. Dane, take it away.
All right, guys. So you know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Make sure you're subscribed to the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel, as well as the Rag Company YouTube channel, and last but not least, the Rag Company FAQ channel. If you're not there and you have questions about detailing, what are you doing? Get over there. There's great stuff popping up there pretty frequently, and I think you're going to enjoy it. There's new stuff coming out all the time on all of our channels. So check them out, and we will see you later on Thursday with the big crew. So have a great week. We'll see you then.
See ya.